A woman was horrified to discover that the man she had been keeping for 3 years was actually a top-tier heir to a powerful family. At first, she thought she was mistaken until he gently wiped the red wine off her with a handkerchief, and she realized the truth. The man before her was the same elite heir everyone in the city wanted to get close to. 3 years ago, on her wedding day, her husband had left the country with another woman. Bored and heartbroken, she ended up keeping a pretty boy for companionship, never imagining he would turn out to be a hidden prince. When her husband suddenly returned 3 years later, she gave the heir 6 million yuan and a villa, cutting ties cleanly. But the heir had already fallen in love with her and didn't want to let go. She stuffed a bank card into his hand and walked away. Angry, he called his assistant and said they could invest in Xia Xinan's small company, but only if his wife came to discuss the deal in person. Her husband soon received a call from the assistant, insisting that only his wife could negotiate the contract. Meanwhile, the woman found out during a hospital checkup that she was pregnant. She asked the doctor to schedule an abortion. Back home, she handed her husband divorce papers. He questioned her how could she want a divorce right after his return. She shot back, "Didn't you do the same to me 3 years ago?" Now that he was successful, he wanted it all wife and mistress. Dream on. Her words enraged him, and he accused her of stealing the position meant for the real Miss Song, saying if not for her, he would have married the Song family heiress. The woman replied that it was perfect, then they could get divorced and he could be with his sweetheart. He agreed to the divorce, but only if she did one last thing for him. She refused immediately. He then said if she made this deal happen, he'd finally tell her why he changed so suddenly on their wedding day. He handed her a file and asked her to close the deal. She left with the documents. At that moment, the heir was nervously gambling on his emotions, praying she wouldn't come to him for her husband's sake, but to his dismay, she did show up with the proposal. The assistant brought her to the meeting room, saying the CEO was in a meeting and she'd have to wait. In reality, the heir was watching her every move through the surveillance cameras, burning with jealousy.